Peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? Give everybody about 3 to 5 minutes to tap in before we start diving into the subject matter, man. I got about 45 minutes, man, to tap into this build, man. I just want to go in real quick. Y'all see the subject matter, man. Congrats to the LSU uh, women's basketball team, man, for winning that championship. You know me, I was rooting for the predominantly black squad. So y'all know I was excited to see that. You know, I made a joke on Facebook. You know, the LSU women's basketball team to unify black people for a brief minute. You know, so I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. But what's the word? Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Monday. Patrick Peace, what's happening? What's the word? You know, white folks don't they can't stand to see us do our thing at times. You know, especially when it's against their folks. You know, they can't stand to see it, boy. So I love it. I love it. Hey, Magic Peace, what's happening? TZ for sure. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna lie. I feel like it was some nonsense behind Iowa beating South Carolina, because ain't no way, man. South Carolina went undefeated this whole time. We ain't even gonna get into that though. But yeah, I definitely was rooting for South Carolina in that game. For sure. Dean, peace, what's happening? Stanley, peace, what's happening? Chris, what's happening? Best believe we're gonna get you up to date. Lindell, peace, what's happening? Darvin, peace, what's the word? Y'all know me. I was rooting for the black side. I was rooting for the black women for sure. You know, I was happy to see them do their thing. White folks mad. You know, when Angel Reese did the, like time for to give me them rings. You know, she was putting that hand up in old white girl face. They ain't like that. Caitlin Clark, whatever her name is, you know. They ain't like that. And white folks mad. It's unprofessional. She should have got a tech and all this type of good stuff. And it's funny hearing that coming from white folks. The same white folks that have burned jerseys down when a person decides to leave a team. They burning jerseys. These the same white folks that make death threats to folks' families when the kicker misses a field goal. These white folks calling the family, they death threats, sending all this stuff on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? All this. These are the same white folks that be doing this. But then when Angel Reese, she celebrates in the form of trash talking, now they want to see, oh, that she unprofessional. She shouldn't be doing this, that, and the third. That's not classy. All of that nonsense. But wasn't saying anything when Caitlin Clark did that to the South Carolina player, waved her off, which is the same form of trash talk. These white players, what the finesse two times dudes say, man, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. That quote came to mind instantly. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. 100%. If they would have did the same thing, bro, if they would have celebrated the same way, they wouldn't have had anything to say. When we celebrate, then they want to call us hood. They want to call us ghetto. They want to say we not classy. They want to do all of that type of nonsense. But they weren't saying anything when they girl waved the old girl off. Boy, I was so happy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all understand. I root for the black folks. So I was happy to see them young black women win that game. Because we know they ain't want them to win that game. I was happy to see it. Boy, I was loving it. Y'all know anytime I can see these white folks get mad and see the hypocrisy come out of them, I'm here for it. Sign me up for it. I don't care if it come in the form of sports, whatever form it got to come to me in, I'm cool. I love to see them white folks be hypocritical, be burning jerseys. They burn jerseys. Listen. Let one of these players say, "Oh, I'm not returning back to this team, or I want to be traded." Burn the jersey, make death threats to his family. What is that? I guess that ain't thug like. I guess that ain't ghetto. What do you call that? Somebody tell me what we call that when these white folks be burning jerseys and making death threats. This is stuff that they do. That's what they do. We trash talk. We do this. And they can't take that. They can't stomach that. When we go like this in the white girl face, boom. We go like that. They can't take it. They can't take it. Come on now. Peace to everybody tapping in. Yeah, the Great White Hope. You already know it. They love boy. They love their athletes, you know. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know, they changing the way the game is played. If you my age and older and you grew up in a certain era of sports, man, they are changing the way the game is played from basketball to football significantly, in my opinion, so more of these white folks can thrive. And I'm gonna keep it real. I grew up in sports. The moment I came out the womb, I was involved in sports. So I didn't see how they didn't change the rules to the games. How they didn't change the game up to make it a little bit more suitable for these white folks. Now that don't mean that there ain't white folks out here that can ball, but I'm saying, man, if you'd have been involved in sports from the 70s, 80s, and 90s on out, you didn't see what they did, man, to the rules. You didn't see what they did to the game to change it up, to make it more suitable for their people to thrive. We seen it. I got a pops, man. My pops put me on game, but before my pops even had to put me on game, I noticed this. This is real in the field, fam. You know, so I love it. People ain't gonna admit it. People ain't, oh yeah, Tony, football is the worst. Football is you can't hit no. Football is the worst. They didn't change the rules to football. They want their white folks to thrive in football, and don't get me started on that. Don't even get me started on football, fam. More Reese, peace. Appreciate that donation. I'm telling you, Angel Reese got a fan right here. When she did that, when she talked her talk, I was like, right on, sister, right on. Don't try to be politically correct. Say what you said. She was like, man, y'all tried to place me in this box all season long. And when I do certain things, when I basically be myself, y'all like to call me ghetto and all of this. But when other people do it, y'all don't have the same reaction. She said that. She said that to the media. I'm like, right on. I love it when folks speak. I love it when my people speak out. I love it when my people say that, because that's right and exact. That's right and exact. When we do certain things, it's like, oh, y'all shouldn't be doing that. That's unprofessional. That's this. That's toxic. That's ghetto. They do the same thing, and it's like, competitive. They a competitor. She's a competitor. When Caitlin Clark does the same thing, they say she is a competitor. She likes to compete. That's what they say. That's what they say. When the white folks do this right here, they be like, she is a competitor. She's a gamer. She loves to compete. That wasn't classless. She's a competitor, man. That's what they say. But when we do it, it's all problems. It's all problems. It's all problems. Maurice, LSU for sure. And then another thing, some people gonna admit it, but for real, to let y'all know, the natural inclination of the world. Yesterday, you had LSU versus Iowa. Predominantly all the black people, we was rooting for LSU. Most of the white folks was rooting for Iowa. This is an actual fact. Most folks ain't gonna want to admit that, but that's what it was. Most of the black folks, we ain't been watching women's college basketball ever. We tapped in and we was rooting for LSU. The white folks, same way, ain't been watching women's college basketball at all. They tapped in and they was rooting for Iowa. That's what was happening yesterday. Black folks was rooting for LSU predominantly, and white folks was rooting for Iowa predominantly. That's a natural inclination. We wanted to see LSU. We wanted to see the black women win. They wanted to see the Great White Hope win. They ain't gonna admit it, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all that's what was happening. That's what was happening. We wanted to see the black team win. Who had the most black people? That's who we want to win. Come on now. Darvin, that's what it should have been. It should have been. Let's be, man, come on. It should have been that. Ain't no way. South Carolina been dominating all year, and then they can't beat Iowa all of a sudden. They undefeated. You know what I'm saying? So we know, I'm gonna keep it real, man. We know what was behind that. That whole game was suspect, fam. We know what was behind that though. Caitlin Clark, she can ball. I ain't gonna take nothing away from her. She can ball. But man, come on. Just come on. Come on now. That South Carolina squad is dangerous. Ain't no way, man. That whole game was suspect if you watched it. But it is what it is. LSU got the job done. And them sisters talk, they talk. Them sisters talk, they talk, they celebrate, they put it all in their faces. And I love that. I love it. Keep doing it. And I'm here for it. I'm going to reinforce it. I'm going to keep the energy going. I ain't going to let up. I ain't going to let up. You know, everybody be acting like the work. Listen, nah, they come on. If you was watching that South Carolina and Iowa game, you know what I'm talking about. Ain't no way, man. Moni, peace, what's happening? You know, I love it. Matter of fact, man, we just finna get on the topic of race, man. I got some stories that I can give y'all real quick. I got a story that I can give y'all, you know, pertaining to this type of situation. Let y'all know what kind of world we living in. Everybody act like racism is dead and we progress. No, we ain't. You know what I'm saying? I got a client, right, that got a son, a black son, dude in like the sixth grade, I think. I got a client with a son that's in like the 6th grade, right? This is what happened. He was in school. Him and his partner was talking about something. I don't know what she said. Something about Deadpool or something like that. So him and his partner was having a conversation. My client's 6-year-old son and his friend was having a conversation about Deadpool or something. So it's a little white girl in the class, in the same class, right? She walked past my client's son and a friend talking about what they were talking about, and she thought she heard them talking about, like she got like a pimple, she had like a pimple or something. So she thought she heard little bro say something about her pimple, in which he was talking about the movie. Guess what the little white girl hauled off and did to my client's black son? Slapped him. Because she thought he was talking about her. Slapped the man. Slapped him. Slapped him. Now, here's the tricky part. I'm going to ask y'all, if you were in the 5th, 6th grade back when you was in school and you thought somebody was talking about you and you slapped them, what would be the penalty? What would be the penalty if y'all did that? I know if I did something like that, I'm getting suspended. If I slap a white girl, they might put me in juvie. They might put me in juvie. But if I slap another brother, I'm getting suspended. But if y'all did that same thing, bro, if y'all thought somebody was talking about y'all and they were not, and you slapped them, what would be the penalty? What would be the penalty? Let me know. Maurice, peace. Appreciate that donation for sure. Hey, shout out to the Lakers, man. Shout out to LeBron and them. But let me know, if y'all hauled off and smacked somebody, what would be the penalty? We getting suspended, right? We get suspended. We getting detention. We gonna have to apologize. I'm gonna give y'all a backstory on my life. I guess I done been a revolutionary since I was, since I was small. I think I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade. I made a joke. I was joking. Now I actually was joking about this white chick. I was joking. Like I made jokes about this white chick. I ain't gonna even lie. I was talking about her. And she got to crying. So they made me get up in front of the whole class and apologize because I was talking about it. All fun and game. Back in the day, we used to do what we called joning. That's what we did. We talked about folks. And everybody, well, nobody exempt. We talked about anybody, any and everybody. So the moment I talk about the little white girl, I had to get up in front of the class and apologize. Mind you, I didn't talk about my black classmates all the time. I ain't never had to apologize. We talk about each other all the time. I never had to stand up and apologize for talking about my black classmates. But the one time I talk about the white girl and she busts out crying, I had to get up in class and I had to apologize. I didn't even slap anybody. I talked about her. I cracked a joke. It was a joke. It was a harmless joke. As a matter of fact, the joke was corny. You know what I'm saying? I told a joke about the white girl. I had to stand up and apologize. I ain't put my hands on nobody. And I had to stand up and apologize. Now, fast forward to my client's son. He gets slapped by the white chick, and they called my mans into the office. They said, my client said her son was in the office talking to people for about 45 minutes as if he was the one that smacked somebody. And then she asked her son Did anybody talk to the little white girl? And he said, nope. He said she ain't had to go to the office. Ain't nobody talked to her. And they did not make her apologize. And they told my client, which is the mother, they told her, we can't force the child to apologize. Man, what? I ain't never heard no nonsense like that. So my client's son, a young black man, gets slapped by a white chick because the white chick thought homeboy was talking about her pimple, which he wasn't. And then they say we can't force her to apologize. And then tried to told my client, which is the mother, well, all the kids in the class are talking about her because she slapped and they making fun of her. Tried to make my client feel sorry for the white girl because she the one that slapped the son. Man, they should talk about it. They should drive her. She shouldn't have did that. She shouldn't have did it. Now what now? And my client was like, let's flip the script. What if my big black young son thought this white chick said something about him and slapped her? I said, man, we might have had the police up there. Now, it ain't no might have had. We would have had the police up there. Your son might be locked down in juvie right now. Would have got expelled from the school. So stop playing with us, man. Stop playing with us, man. This hey, racism is still out here. That's why I get excited when black folks win. Because deep down, whether these white folks admit it or not, them white folks was rooting for Iowa. Boy, they wanted Iowa to win. They wanted Iowa to win. White folks, so they majority of the white folks are in their feelings right now because Iowa lost, and they know it. They don't want to admit it, but they know it. People gonna be like, "Oh, you always gotta make something about race." Nah, everybody made this about race. Everybody, the black folks is rooting for the black folks, and the white folks rooting for the white folks. I'm just gonna admit it. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth straight up. Mugs don't be watching women's college basketball like that, but everybody was tuned in for that reason. So let's go ahead and call a spade a spade. It was what it was. The country was divided again. It is what it is. And we don't dislike Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? She can ball. We gonna give her credit. But if you got pops, if you got grandfathers, things like that, man, we know how they didn't cheat it for what predominantly white squads. We got history of that. We got proof. We got evidence. If you got elder men in your life, man, it's certain organizations that they don't like because they cheated for them, because they had the white boys on the team cheating for them. Like my pops to this day don't like, he don't like the Boston Celtics and how they used to cheat for Larry Bird and them at times. You know what I'm saying? Like my pops to this day can't stand that. Sylvetta, peace, what's happening? The real. Yeah, when she was putting her hands in people's faces, she waving them off. She extra arrogant too. I mean, come on, man. Caitlin Clark, don't act like she don't be talking her trash. Don't act like she ain't arrogant with her celebrations. Which I like it. I ain't got no problem with it. Just don't be mad when we do it. I have no problem with Caitlin Clark celebrating. You know, she earned it. But just don't get mad when the black folks do. Just don't get mad. Just don't get mad when black folks do it. You know what I'm saying? What they say, keep the same energy. You know, when we celebrate, let us do our thing. Oh yeah, Patrick, Patriots, and again, that go right in the line with Boston. Got the Patriots, got the Celtics. Oh, Darvin, yeah, I had saw that. Hey, Moni, you already know. Ain't nothing off topic. So, hey, ask away. Ask away. I didn't already smoke my piece on it. I just wanted to shout out to the LSU women's basketball team for uniting black people for a second. They the united black people. And we here for it. We riding out. We got y'all back. White folks mad, we got y'all back. Keep talking, y'all talk. Shout out to the sisters out here doing their thing. But Moni, you already know. Go ahead and ask away. Oh yeah, Darrell, yeah, she did absolutely nothing wrong. Oh, Devontae, man, I'm trying to tell you, yeah, if I slapped anybody, I did it. I got suspended. You know, I had to apologize and all that. Oh yeah, Devontae. Trash talking is a part of, man, listen. I don't know what type of sports they played, man, but we talk some serious trash. You know, back in my day, I had, man, when I was in high school, my junior year, man, mothers was on the radio talking about what they was gonna do to me. Man, mothers on the radio talking bad about me, what they was gonna do to me. I think it was a district game, and they was talking about how bad they gonna mess me up and all this type of good stuff. You know, they was talking about on the radio. They got on the radio and was talking about what they was gonna do to me during the game and all that good stuff. It's all good. Ain't nobody, we ain't tripping. You know, we ain't tripping. So man, come on. Trash talking is a part of the game. It's a part of the game. Real supreme justice. Peace. What's happening? Is that definitely that? Hey, I posted that on Facebook. I said, look, it's it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Finesse 2 times. Y'all already know. That should be a Bible verse. You know what I'm saying? That should be in the Bible or the Quran or something. That's a Psalms verse right there. You know, that is a Psalms verse for sure. Man, I would have been going crazy with the hand. I would have been doing the spinneroonie. I would have been like Booker T in that joint doing the spinneroonie. I'd have been going crazy. Man, I've been going crazy. They lucky I'm not the one that's out there beating these white folks. I've been going crazy. I wouldn't have let up. They would have been finding me everything. I'd have went crazy. I was like, oh, y'all mad? I'm finna make it where I'm gonna make y'all mad. DJ Elmo Peace, what's happening? I would have been going crazy. They get the right ones. I'd have went crazy. I would have went stupid with it. All right, Moni, I think you got some more to that question. Real Supreme, I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you. These white folks, these sensitive white folks wouldn't have made it in the culture I grew up in. My goodness. Boy, the type of joking that we did and the type of trash talking that we did, boy, they wouldn't have made it. Maurice, yeah, they say racist. They say people like me keeping racism alive. Get out of here. Moni, you say, hold on. You say how my experience went with my in-laws as far as receiving and accepting your spiritual stance. Hopefully, I'm not overstepping by asking this. Nope, man, don't know. Don't nobody accept they don't accept my culture on any side of the spectrum. But at the end of the day, I've always been solo dolo. It ain't nothing for me to isolate myself. If you not rocking with something I'm rocking with, cool. Because I'm not doing this for your approval. I'm not doing it for their approval. I'm doing this for me. I didn't got rejected on both sides. I've been called the devil. I didn't been accused of brainwashing folk. They didn't told me I'm going crazy. Man, I didn't got called some everything in regards to the culture that I have embraced. And I didn't let that cause me to deviate from the culture, you know, because again, it was my understanding, you know, and it was helping me evolve and grow. And that's what it was about. I tried to chop it up with folks and get them to at least semi understand why I was gravitating towards the culture that I ended up accepting and embracing. But man, when people caught up in these religions, they not trying to hear that, especially when it's family members, in-laws, and all of that. Because for the most part, I was talking to folks that was way older than me. So they really wasn't hearing it. So I just kept it pushing. I had to keep it pushing. I felt like I had to keep it pushing. They not gonna ever really accept that. You know, they ain't gonna ever accept it. It might be some or like a few rare cases where people be like, all right, cool, I understand. But for the most part, man, they gonna look at you sideways depending on what culture it is that you gravitating towards. Being in the 5%, man, that ain't that wasn't a popular stance amongst Baptists and you know what I'm saying, and things like that. They wasn't really understanding that. They still don't understand that for the most part. I got some that may try to brush it off, you know, and act like they do, but I know deep down how they view me and how they view what I represent. But it is what it is. But I didn't been through all of that with that. And that's why I really do not like to chop it up with a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of family members. You know, I keep them conversations to a minimum when it comes to stuff like that around family members, in-laws, and all of that. Now, the unfortunate part is a lot of times I strive to do that, but folks would like to bring the stuff up, try to antagonize you and whatnot. Back in the day, they used to get me. Now we finna argue. Now, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna speak my truth. I'm gonna stand on that truth. I'm gonna stand on my square, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. But yeah, I done been through that. I ain't really ever get accepted. I done got called some of everything, man, for the culture that I embrace and I have accepted. And anybody that encounters me that has any type of questions or interest in the culture, I get accused of brainwashing them. I got a homeboy, and I told y'all about this, but I got a homeboy where his girlfriend told him to stop hanging around me because of my, I ain't gonna say beliefs because we ain't believe in anything, of my knowledge, of my culture. It's like, man, you need to stop hanging around him. He gonna influence you. He gonna brainwash you. I accuse of that. Like, that's crazy. Moni, I had that conversation. The person that I told you was calling me crazy, it was my mom's. And I right now, somebody threatened my mom, I kill him. You know what I'm saying? But it was my mom's was the one. I clashed with my mom's, probably, I ain't gonna say more than anybody, but I clashed with my mom's. I had conversation with my pops too, but I'm close with my moms and pops. Well, yeah, my mom was telling me these books driving me crazy, all this type of stuff. Man, my mom was going in on me for a second. Going in on me. Eventually, once she saw, this is what ended up happening. Once my people saw that it wasn't a phase, once my people saw that I actually was true to this, then they kind of left it alone. They probably still feel how they feel, but they're not going to say anything. You know, as long as I don't bring the topic up and they don't bring the topic up, we good. We don't have to talk about that. We could talk about other things, you know, but I had conversations in the beginning with my pops and my moms. The conversations with my pops went a little better. The conversation with my moms, those were the best of conversations. You know, she really couldn't understand why I was having all of these questions toward religion. Like, she wasn't necessarily liking that. She was getting a little defensive a lot of the times. My pops, he wasn't really getting defensive. He was striving to, you know, understand, see where I was coming from, or answer if he could. But my mom's wasn't going. She called me Chris, saying I'm going crazy and all this type of stuff. Man, I need to stop reading this, that, and the third. All of that was going on. But in due time, I just stayed true to the culture. I just stayed true to my way of life. And now we cool. Like, now we cool. I stayed true to it. In certain conversations, if they bring it up, they know how I feel about it. They know where I stand and they respect it, and vice versa. Vice versa. But in the beginning, you're going to go to war because listen, you the daughter, you know what I'm saying? And they want you to believe whatever it was that they instilled in you. So they feel like they getting betrayed by their kid. You know, we done told you to believe in this since you were born, and now you telling me you don't believe in it. They feel like it's betrayal. So this is normal in the beginning. When you start to question certain beliefs, when you start to gravitate, Hold on, you say it's more so my dad's a Christian and the person I'm talking to isn't. So one of his questions was, what is his religion? Yep. So yeah, I went through that. That's when I got called the devil. I got called that's when I got called the devil. See, that's where the devil part came in. When Muggs was like, well, does he believe in this? And Muggs had to be like, nope. And so then I got called the devil. That's that story. So with that, I had to keep it real. I had to tell people straight up. I say, look, man, I ain't striving to be in a relationship with your moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they don't if they don't like me, it is what it is. If this gonna have some type of impact on our relationship, let me know now, then I'm gonna keep it pushing. That's really where I was at with it. But I was like, man, I ain't really gotta be cool with your moms at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm not dating her, I'm dating you. So if you got a problem with where I stand, let me know. But I ain't here to please your moms. Like, that's what I was on. That's what I let folks know. And I told her, I was like, look, I ain't about to be biting my tongue. I ain't about to be sitting around passive every time I get around folks. Like, nah, this is a culture, this is a way of life. So if I feel like folks is coming for me and targeting me, I'm gonna defend myself. So just be mindful of that. I was letting people know what it was. I say, I ain't got no beef with your peoples, but hey, if they about to be coming at my way of life, then I got to defend that. But at the end of the day, I was like, man, I'm not really in a relationship with your peoples. If you accept me for me, if you accept everything that I stand on, then that's what's most important. That's what's most important. At the end of the day, we can't allow our parents to dictate who it is that we date, because they don't know what they listen. As much as they think they know what's best for us, they really don't. They really don't. A lot of their perspectives in that regard is going to be distorted. They're gonna have a certain way they view the world. You may not view the world that way. And they gonna want the man that you dating to have all of these qualities. It may not even be qualities that you necessarily fool with. So like if you would have told your pops, bro is a Christian, then it might be all good. Just off of the strength of you saying that. And I know plenty of men out here that's Christians that beat their wives and cheat and do all this type of stuff. So we got to look past that. It's like, all right, cool. That's your religion, that's your culture, but how are you as a person? How are you as a man? That should be the most important thing. How does he treat you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel when you are with him? That should be more important than, hey, what is his religion? If it ain't the same religion as my religion, then we're going to have a problem. And a lot of times our people are like that, or like our parents and whatnot. That's how they are. They want to know the kid religion. That's important to them. Whole while, a lot of folks, and I ain't saying your pops is like this, but a lot of our people that be saying that and questioning that don't even live according to the doctrines. But then when we start there, they want to make sure that the person you dating is that. I ain't got time for that. Like I said, I done got called devils and all of that. I done been told on my end I'm going crazy. Then I done got called devils. I done got accused of brainwashing folks. I definitely didn't get accepted. But as long as I was accepted by the person that needed to accept me, I was good. I ain't care about any of that. So Moni, if you feel comfortable with this, brother, if you feel comfortable, if this man treats you right and you feel comfortable with him and you accept him, that's most important. That's most important. That's the most important thing, Moni. If you accept him, you feel safe, you feel good with the brother, that's more important than how your father views him. Because your father is not the one dating him. Your father is not going to be the one to live with him. Your father is not going to be the one with him most of the time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be you. So if this is a good brother, if this brother does right by you, that's most important. Pops will be all right. The pops will come around once he sees that, hey, this dude loves my daughter. This dude treats my daughter right. That at the end of the day, that's all the pops wants to see. So once he see that, Like in the beginning, he gonna be like, ah, he this, that, and the third because he don't believe in this. But then after a while, once he sees how you being treated by him and it's all good, he gonna have a newfound level of respect for him. And that's real. You know, I used to tell people straight up back in the day, I was like, man, yo, you know what I'm saying? Your peoples might not like what I represent. We just gonna go and get that out the way. I'm pulling up to the people's crib with the Malcolm X on the hoodie. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling up to the people's crib. You know what I'm saying? With universal flag, just so y'all can know. Y'all won't even have, it won't even be any suspicions of what I represent. I'm gonna let you know I'm a rocket. Ain't nobody gotta ask questions. It's on the clothes, on the hoodie. Devontae for sure. You know, and I ain't never care about being accepted. Oh, mom dudes don't like me, cool. I like me, so it's all good. Pops don't like me, cool. I like me, so it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen, I don't care about being accepted. At the end of the day, it's about how people treat you. That's more important. That's more important, Moni. How do you feel about the brother? Do you accept him? Is he treating you right? That's all we worried about. Your pops will eventually come around if he treating you right. Tony, for sure, man. We judge by so much, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like we judge by a lot. Like for real, people don't talk about it, man. But men are judged by a lot. We might be judged by the religion we subscribe to, the culture that we subscribe to, the car we drive, the shoes we wear, what we our attire for work, and the job we have. Man, we get judged by all of this for real. We get judged by it all. Uncle Stu, peace, peace. Appreciate the donation. Asada, hey, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't got no problem let folks know what set I be representing. Moni, and there we go. You know, at the end of the day, and shout out to the brother. It sounds like a good brother to me. You know, at the end of the day, Pop's just gonna have to come around. Once he sees the treatment, and that's what it takes. That's what it took on my end. Like initially, I'm getting called devils and this, that, and the third, but it's in my true neck. Like, man, listen, I'm getting called devil, but I'm still a helpful person. I'm still helping folks out. I'm being nice, generous, all of this. So the perspective started to change once people start seeing how I actually am as a person, instead of trying to judge me by my culture, which they did that incorrectly because they don't understand the culture, you know, but they was judging me on the surface, on face value, and then they actually saw how I treated people and how I live, and it's like, oh, this brother ain't bad. Yeah, because not everybody in this culture is bad. Most of the folks that's in this culture is not bad, you know, but people ain't striving to understand the culture because it's different, you know. So once people start seeing how I treated folks, you know, and all that type of good stuff, that I actually genuinely was a good dude, it's like, oh, dad. Money for sure. I wouldn't even be nervous about it because it at the end of the day, if the brother is as good as he sounds, then he gonna know how to break that part down. He gonna know how to approach the pops and have a respectable conversation. Because at the end of the day, men, we like to listen. All dude got to do is approach him as a man and have that conversation with him, and I'm telling you, your pop's gonna respect him that much more, even if he disagrees with his outlook on life. He approach him like a man and just have a conversation like, look, hey, I fool with your daughter. I'm dating your daughter. You know, I understand that you are a Christian, but see, I'm not, and this is the way of life that I subscribe to. Let me break it down to you so you can get a thorough understanding of me as an individual. You know, something simple like that. Devontae for sure. Yeah, they chopping heads off and everything. They chopping heads off. But yeah, all he got to do is have that conversation. Because like I said, a lot of people just don't have an understanding of any culture or religion outside of the one that they subscribe to. So once you sit down with an individual and just break it down, have that man-to-man talk with the pops or with the adult, then it's like at the end of the day, now the understanding is understood. You either gonna like it or leave it. Straight like that. But I didn't got called names, so I can relate to that 100%. I didn't got called names, and I didn't got accused all the time. I didn't got accused of brainwashing, all that type of stuff. And I ain't forced anything on anybody. I ain't forced anything on anybody. All I did was subscribe to a way of life, stay committed to it, and people was interested in it because they saw how it was changing me. Y'all know I'm not a forceful person. You won't even know what you wouldn't even know what I'm doing if you don't ask me, because I'm not gonna force anything on anybody. If you don't ask me what I'm studying, I'm not even gonna tell you. Like, that's the type of person I am. So I've never forced anything on anyone. So it always be funny when I get accused of brainwashing, I get accused of forcing people to do something that ain't even in my personality. That ain't even in me to do that. Like, it ain't in me to be that type of person at all. But I didn't got accused of that. And that's how I know. And that's why I laugh at certain things. Y'all just don't know what type of person I am. If you think that I'm out here forcing people to subscribe to something, you don't know me. So then it becomes laughable. It becomes laughable, man. So a lot of times I'm sitting around laughing at folks because they think they know me based on some things that I subscribe to, and they don't. Based on what they may see on YouTube, on Facebook, they think they know me 100% and they don't. So a lot of times I'm just laughing. Uncle Stu, exactly. You just got to prove that that's it, and that's all the father is really on. You just want to make sure your daughter's getting treated right. At the end of the day, you may you may act like you care about their religious belief, but at the end of the day, you just want to make sure your daughter getting treated right. You just want to make sure your son ain't falling for the okie doke. You just want to make sure your son ain't getting tricked out here. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure your kids is making the right decisions. And a lot of fathers ain't going out lightly on that. You know what I'm saying? So that's your father come around once he sees how you are getting treated. That's it. Boom, peace. What's happening? So he gonna come around, get a pop's time. He gonna come around. He probably gonna ask every question he can think of. He gonna ask every question he can think of. That's just what he gonna do. At the end of the day, it's up to dude to show and prove to the pops. Your pops ain't gonna go out without a fight. Your pops like, look, this is my daughter. I ain't going out without a fight. I'm gonna ask everything that makes sense to me. I'm only for sure. Hey, tell bro, keep his head up. I went through that. And y'all see the result of me going through it. Ain't nothing gonna break me. I'm tell you straight up, hey, whatever question somebody, and I used to tell them all the time, say if they got a question, tell them don't ask you, ask me. I'll be more than glad to clarify. You know what I'm saying? Like I that's what I was on. I was like, look, hey, tell your moms if she want to have a conversation, she can have it with me. She ain't gotta have it with you because you don't like this is my culture. I'm the best representative of it because I know it. So if somebody wants to get an understanding, they got to talk to me. You ain't gonna be able to give it to them how I can give it to them. So that's what I told her. I said, let me talk to them. So if they got a question, let me answer the question. Let me address it because I can better explain it because it's my way of life. You know what I'm saying? So that's the approach I took. Look, if they got questions, Let me handle that. So vet exact. Hey, they always eventually come around. And hey, if they don't, they just don't. You got to do what's best for you. Like at the end of the day, we got to do what's best for ourselves. Yeah, Moni for sure. Yeah, he gonna come around. He gonna come around for sure. Uncle Stu, that hey, that's how it is. That's how it is. Y'all know me though. I'm all for getting vetted. I'm all for people asking me questions. I'll be ready for it, especially back then. Back in the day, boy, I was ready. You know what I'm saying? Ask me anything. What you want to know? You know, so I love the vetting process. That don't make me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't scared of that. I ain't afraid of that. I used to couldn't wait to meet somebody pops like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? What's up? Let me talk to you. You know, we can have some thorough conversations. But y'all, with that being said, man, I'm running on limited time, man. I ain't got much time today. I was supposed to have somebody at like 4 o'clock, canceled on me. So I got to head up to this gym to make it there for 5 o'clock. So man, this is a short joint. I just wanted to shout out to the LSU women's basketball team, man, and they keep doing their thing out here. Shout out to the black women. Shout out to the sisters. Celebrate that victory. Do all of that. Be all in their face with it. Keep making these white folks mad. But man, I appreciate the donations. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the love. I may try to tap in again with y'all tomorrow. If not, definitely on Wednesday. But I'm out. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday. Be easy. Peace.